Good afternoon, folks. It's another episode of the Gary and Mark Show, and I'm Gary.
And I'm Mark, I think.
Yeah, and we are coming to you not live, but we're alive.
And where are we alive, Gary?
Well, we're barely alive here at the Iron Key Brewing in Columbus, North Carolina, which we're inside the comfort and safety of Mark's deluxe van to stay out of the wind.
Yeah, it's a little warm in here because if I turn on the air, it'd be awfully windy, noisy. But we're on a roll here because this is our third take.
Our third take, yes. This time the camera's on.
The camera's on and recorder.
We're recording.
We did the first one with no camera but the recorder.
Yeah.
The second one, we had the camera on but forgot the recorder. So now we're actually doing the podcast.
As far as we know.
And this has been a good podcast.
We've had a great time.
We have had. Too bad you couldn't have listened to what we did earlier, so it was fun.
But if you send us some money, maybe we can let you in on all the fun we've had back here in the van.
That's right.
There's a bowling alley in it. There's a little Hot Wheels racing thing.
There's a one-lane swim track over here.
This van is incredible.
It is only 21 feet. It does have a bathroom, and I will say that hopefully won't come in handy today, but I have used it.
Well, and I'm still using, I have a pee bottle in my little Suzuki. That's it.
That comes in handy, and when you're driving, you can't
go to the
you can't get them go.
No.
I got to thinking, if this Elon Musk gets this self-driving stuff going, maybe that would be a possibility. But
I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure about that.
Isn't that the same guy sending people to space?
Doing all kinds of stuff. He's the one going to do all those thousands of satellites where you can get your cell phone anywhere in the nation, crystal clear. I mean, your internet and stuff without having to go between cell and cell and cell. And so I think he makes a fortune already. But anyhow, so
I'll stick with Gunsmoke. That's become my thing on a weeknight from 7 to 8.
My wife was watching this morning for 3 hours. It was
a 30-minute episode has got really 21 minutes of content.
Did they ever have an hour episodes?
Yes, okay. Later they did.
I'm thinking the ones I look at.
Yeah, the ones I think by mid-60s, late 50s and early 60s. It's 30 minutes. It's black and white, which I like. And if Matt Dillon shoots you, you're dead. I mean, there's no writhing.
Yeah, but you still don't see the blood like they do today.
No, you don't. You don't see that, and you just should never draw on Matt. They should know that.
And he's 6 feet 7 inches tall.
Yeah, and he was in the infantry and landed at Anzio.
Really?
Yeah, and since he was 6'7", they put him in the front of the landing craft. So it's like, you jump out first, so we'll see how deep the water is.
Oh, I thought it was meant to say he would take the fire from anybody.
Well, there's that, too. You'd be the first one to find the bullets.
Not good.
Well, good for Matt. But, the episodes are pretty lame, but I can follow them.
So we're back at this Iron Key Brewing.
Yeah.
We had another episode, an episode here once before.
Yeah. And when we say episode, we don't mean like some kind of a weird thing happened to us.
No, that's true.
I mean the old sense an episode.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like this is episode number 44.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. Been doing this almost, we're on our third season. We hadn't actually made it to the third year yet. That's a long story.
Yeah, but we pondered doing this one in the solitary confinement building.
We did, and we just didn't ask Chris, like the director of taproom operations.
Yeah, he's too busy.
He is, but I just saw him walk by with the trash can going, so he's probably not that busy. We probably could have got.
Well,
anyhow, it's like a 2-cell thing. We would have.
Asked permission.
Yeah.
And we have permission to be in solitary confinement.
Doesn't happen often, but I'll say it would be dark in there.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it's good to be back. So, Gary, you can tell us about some invention that.
Well, this was, we like to go on this day in history, but of course, this is going to play in May, and here it is, the last day of April.
Yeah, it is.
But I did check yesterday in the newspaper, and what jumped out at me was on April 29, in 1913, a Swedish-born engineer named Gideon Sundback of Hoboken, New Jersey, received a U.S. patent for a separable fastener, which later became known as the zipper.
That's an important invention.
So just think, the zipper has only been around for like 107 years. We could think of lots of stories about zippers.
We could, and
some which, this is a general audience thing. But as a child, as a young male child, you had to learn early when you're kind of retrieving stuff and putting it back where it belongs, watch you didn't get bit by the zipper.
Has that ever happened to you?
It probably did.
Yeah, I can't remember. That would be painful.
Yeah.
I can tell you. I just know even just getting a zipper stuck with a piece of cloth in it,
yeah,
how hard that is to get it undone. Can you imagine skin?
But just before that, I had pants with button flies. Remember the Levi 501, button fly Levi 501s. They were like the cool jeans to have.
70s or 80s, right?
Well, that was the original, Levi's. They didn't have zippers. They had buttons. And I think military fatigues, I believe the ones we had in ROTC had button fly.
Wait a minute, you were in ROTC?
For a year and a half, yeah.
In college or in high school?
College.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The best part was learning how to read a map and compass.
Which you are an expert at.
I wouldn't say I'm okay. My wife's better than I am.
Really? Okay.
Here we are.
We took a quick break there for another technical difficulty.
Yeah, the technical difficulties are with the technical stuff, not our own physical bodies.
That's right. That's right. And you were talking about hiking. You went to ROTC and stuff. And
and then you mentioned that. I've been dropping people off and picking them up for hikes.
But one day you might be taking those people, and they need you because you know everything.
No, I don't. But they have these very capable guides, much younger than me. But
experience counts, and maturity counts.
Yeah, but
wisdom.
Yeah, naps. Yeah. We need naps.
We do.
But this is a wonderful time to bring up the point that spring this year, it was nice. It's just so gorgeous.
It is. It's warm in this van because we've got the fan off and the AC off so you can hear, but it is gorgeous. That's in the 70s most days, low 80s maybe. But
yeah, and of course down here everything's greened up. Yesterday, heading to Deep Creek in the Smokies, you could still see, the poplar trees and the oak trees, their leaves just started to open up. So it's, the crepe myrtle, the red buds, the serviceberry, the dogwoods, and the birds, goldfinches, all these bluebirds, goldfinches, indigo bunnings. It's
you could have a nature show. You could have a nature show.
It's really, and what is it? This next door Druid Hills thing I get. People posting with tree swallows. It's nice. It's nice where it's people posting bird sightings, and then it's not nice when it's people being grumpy about the loud neighbors next door. But it has its good side. You learn about different birds being seen.
So has anyone ever complained about you in that?
I don't know. I haven't read that yet, but maybe they have. We had in my neighborhood? We got a guy raising chickens.
They can make some noise.
Well, they're fine. And then a few days ago, I'm right in town. A rooster shows up. And the rooster didn't belong to anybody. But he had like 5 days in a row. That rooster would start about 5 in the morning. Now, my neighbor lived right behind him. He and I started talking about, can we find a fox? And if not a fox, do I just get some 22 shorts for my dad's old bolt-action rifle and take?
Don't you like the sound of rooster in the morning?
Well, I'm far enough away, it doesn't bother me.
You ever heard like Bob White's in the middle of the?
Yeah.
Like some of them make noise. Man, I'm thinking of something else.
Whippoorwills.
Yeah.
Boy.
I remember being at Green River Preserve one time, and in the morning these birds took off. Making noise and like Oh my gosh.
Cantrell Creek Lodge seems like there used to be a whippoorwill. Started about 4 a.m. back when the lodge was at Cantrell Creek.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now it's in Cradle Forestry.
So yeah, nature. It's pretty nice right now. It just looks good, and there's been no rooster the last 3 days. I don't know what happened.
It's going to be interesting to find out. So that neighbor didn't bring them in to make eggs with his
No,
chickens?
he had chickens, and I don't know how.
So what was his chickens for then?
He's I mean he's got chickens so he can have eggs.
Right. Doesn't have to have a rooster over there somehow.
Well,
I
don't
know how that works, but
the chicken, the egg, or the rooster.
I mean, I'm thinking something has to happen to get that to work, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a
this wasn't
animal husbandry person.
This wasn't the designated rooster.
Now we could call Dee Dee because she would know that kind of stuff.
She would.
She's on a farm.
Yeah.
She would know about those roosters and chickens. She's got some.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if we got this on tape or not. We were talking about, daylight savings, and in North Carolina
a move afoot to just make it's whether you call it standard time at that point, and it's just the same all year, and you don't turn your clock up or turn it back.
And I'm all for that if all 50 states do it. But otherwise, it is going to be a hodgepodge of mess trying to know when you're traveling by air or even calling people up. Now, are they on the old time, the new time, daylight savings times? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and then we could get into the whole heavy thing like, well, what is time? But that's too heavy.
Yeah, well,
it's weighing on us. That's what it's doing.
I mean, there are a couple states that don't, I think, observe it because they don't need it. Like, I think Arizona is one of those. And Professor Jim with our Aluminum Man Triathlon team out at the Western Division of Gary Mark Podcasting University probably, he could give us some insight on what it's like out there with
on what it's like when you don't have to change time.
I know that is a pain. Although I'll say this new fancy van changed it automatically for me, and that's the first. I like that.
Yeah, because if you've ever looked in the manual,
I know
having to change
push
the time,
this button, hit this button, and then turn this one to the left or something.
Yeah.
So when's the last time you've been down to Watershed and the Gary Mark Podcasting University campus?
I haven't been there since they had the big inquest.
I remember that. That was soon after the election.
Yeah.
Speaking of the election, I'm glad that's over. But,
yeah.
And we were talking about COVID earlier. I think we got that before we had this malfunction.
Yeah.
But I've heard people in Watershed done a pretty good job getting their shots in their arms.
Yeah.
But there's a few holdouts.
Always will be.
I know.
The no maskers.
Yep. Don't care what anybody says or thinks. And
that's why they live there.
That's true. Freedoms, they they want to have their rights, and even if it, they think it infringes on their rights to cough on us and make us have to keep wearing masks forever, because there's still some people out there who are going to, we've both had our both shots, but it's only 94.5% effective, right? I mean, because you got it, so you may be 100% protected
until the next round comes. Yeah, but back to Watershed
back
and
to Watershed.
The university, and we had all that problem down there. That I don't know if we want to get into this or not.
Tell me about it.
Well, the investigation look into our athletics.
And I try to get Don on the show this time to give us some insight about what's going on down there, because he's a up and up athletic director.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't let anything shady go by him.
And I don't think we had anybody taking bribes.
Yeah, I don't know who would give him a bribe.
Yeah, I mean, and whatever you want to say, I think that our what do you call that game where you throw the thing through the cornhole?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking, all right, basketball.
Yeah.
Something.
No, I don't think any of our cornhole team members were taking payment under the table.
I doubt it. They don't get much to begin with, so it wouldn't make a big difference to them.
So, and I don't want to wreck their careers.
I know, because that's.
I don't even name them.
No, but I mean that's probably be the next Olympic sport, I would guess. And we could take credit for suggesting that
We
to
could.
the Olympic Committee. I'm not sure it's too late for Japan for this summer. If they,
And that's still going to go, huh?
well, what I heard was it's going to go, but nobody could watch. Or, only the competitors, and it's going to be kind of boring. But I guess on TV they could put in some canned, laughter and applause and stuff. See, we can do that. Yeah, you can always just add in applause when the USA.
I'm waving at the crowd. Thank you. Thank
There
you.
you go. There you
It's the
go.
Gary and Mark show. Look, there they are. They're there in Key.
We were actually invited to do a live broadcast. Remember at DuPont Forest.
We were.
And then all of a sudden COVID came.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to do it.
It kind of interrupted because we were on this real uphill. We were really trending.
That was right. That's before we hit the top.
It's-
And the top of podcasting.
yeah.
Yeah. Now we're kind of coasting,
Plateaued.
Okay, but we're glad to have our fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not many of them, but we're glad to have them. And if you're listening for the first time, make sure you check out www.garyandmark.com because there's good stuff on that.
Yeah, and you won't hear any swear words. We're
very rarely. We've had a few.
G-rated.
Yep.
We try and stay out of the gutter.
I think the only time we had swear words was when Pam Stone was on with us one time.
Oh, yes.
She let a few fly,
And she can.
and she can.
And when she does it, it's funny.
That's true because she is a comedian.
Yeah.
So
A very tall comedian.
very tall.
And nice.
Check our archives on the website because you can find that episode and a bunch more, including an episode done here at Iron Key Brewing where we had Chris Ballou on, the director of tap room operations.
Yeah.
And it's a good beer. We only had one beer today. Now that is not the reason we had all these technical difficulties. That's because I'm
We can't blame it
out
on
of sync today.
It's just one of those days, but it could be the pollen.
You know what? That's a good thing to blame.
Blame it on the pollen.
So one more question before we wrap this up. So how is it like being a granddad?
Well, I'm new at it. And sometimes when I hold Lily, it's okay. And sometimes she doesn't like it very much.
Really?
So, yeah, she'll let you know.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Girl's got an opinion. So,
And so she's how many months now?
she's about 5.5 months.
God, she looks so cute.
Yeah.
And smiles. All these great pictures,
Yeah.
which people can do these days. You
Yeah,
think about 50 years ago, you had to mail them pictures, but now you can just look at them.
Yeah. So it's and she snores, so that makes me feel good.
But she doesn't drink any beer yet that you know of, right?
No.
Even though her daddy runs a beer place.
Well, yeah.
Big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we mention that name?
Sure. Well, Oscar Blues.
Oscar Blues.
Yeah.
We should
He's a great guy,
we,
too.
We did a podcast there, but it wasn't.
We did, and we had as our guest a lady from Muddy Sneakers.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, they've had a tough year, too. That's a program for kids, and, schools were off campus for the most part for over a year. So I don't know if they've got to do.
I think it's done all right because the whole idea of learning outside.
That's true.
And other programs similar to that they're popping up over the country. So
yeah, and summer camps are back in session. We hope for this summer,
Yep.
and we were both summer camp people. Well, Gary, even with all these troubles, I have no idea how many minutes we've run today, but it's been a good episode,
it has been.
and we'll look forward to the next one.
Yes, we will.
Thank our sponsors.
Okay, let's start out with Big Whiz Pocket Buddy.
Famous app that Gary actually was partially developer of.
Yeah.
It's one big seller, and it's actually our biggest episode as well.
And
Rabbit Island.
Rabbit Island Resorts.
Absolutely.
Just a hair better. And then let's not forget Salute Outfitters.
Yeah, now what's the name of that place at Salute Outfitters, Gary?
Big Eddie's Green River Tap Room.
I got it written down. Is that right? Green River Eddie's Tap Room and Grill.
Okay, it's got Green and Big and Eddie.
And then we got L.J. Myers and his professional White Dove releases.
White Dove release.
And we ought to get him on one time.
We should.
He'd be interesting. He's an interesting person.
Yeah.
And, of course, we kind of consider Iron Key Brewing Company one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
That's because they gave us a free beer one time.
They did.
It doesn't take a lot to be a sponsor, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So if you want to be a sponsor, you can just go on our website, GaryandMark.com, and you can be a sponsor for $1. You can also be a member of the university,
Yeah.
graduate for no money.
Hey, and we might even send you some very attractive decals.
You know, I have something to show them. We could do that.
Yeah.
And
know, sometimes it's just the thing you need to spiff up your car.
You do.
Oh yeah. And so
we have one. If you're watching on the
there
YouTube, there we go.
GNMPU.
Yep, Gary and Mark Podcast University.
You can even look up if there's a school song.
That's true. Yeah, there's all kinds of
a lot
good
of
stuff.
Tradition.
Yeah, when we got a distinguished faculty member, you could probably be one too. That doesn't take a lot of work either.
And sometime the meteorology department that.
When are we going to do that?
When I call my brother.
Okay, we need to get that started because that I've heard because of global warming, people are really interested in that.
Yeah,
and they want to sign up and take that program. And Larry Eblen would be perfect.
There you go. We once again will be the point of the spear, leading the way.
Always, people they learn from us. It's a fantastic place. Well, Gary, it has been a good episode, don't you think?
It's been a real experience.
It has. I have no clue what it's going to look like in editing because we started and stopped 3 or 4 times. I mean, the camera died. The camera wasn't turned on. The recorder wasn't turned on. So hopefully we'll get most of this put together.
Okay.
All right. Well, I had a good time, Gary.
Me too, Mark.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
See ya.
All right. Take care.